Yeah, absolutely. I love hearing their comms too, hearing how intense it's been. I mean, to be fair, every single team that we've kind of tuned into has had intense comms, but I want to highlight the way that they were able to really keep their heads straight together while also maintaining a pretty superior positioning. And we talk about positioning here. Energy, not only did they manage to get the scan already, wasting no time with Nathan on the back line, but there are split up a little bit so that way they could cover some more space when it comes to getting this loot.
To be fair, if you know in the chat. Come on, to be fair. So I'm looking at TSM too, and I'm wondering if they are going to switch up their composition. Maybe they're going to bust out the Caustic as well as the Valkyrie on top of Hell there. So take a look at that zone. I'm feeling Geyser. It's definitely hard pulling over towards that side. Could potentially pull over towards the south side of that choke too. So we'll see what teams like to play the choke, which teams are going to go over towards Big Mod, and who's going to get inside Geyser.
It's going to be chaotic here. I'm just thinking right now with a lot of the squads that we're seeing currently within that next circle, as you can see, Geyser is going to get heated real quick. You can see Fragment too, with a lot of these squads having to rotate from the northern part of the map, Tom. You have to assume that choke point closer to Geyser by the overlook area is going to be extremely contested, especially with that new area that you could take kind of like that back road to flank. But when you go into the tunnel next to Geyser.
Look at the purple armor for Sweet. They're going to try to loot as fast as possible. They have been having some good rotations, double rotations, portals when you absolutely need them. Nathan with the redeploy when you need that as well. And they're also going to be picking up some kills along the way. Playing Edge having a phenomenal day so far. No repeat winners yet today, though. Charlotte Phoenix with game number 1, C9 game number 2, Energy with the game 3 win.
And it's kind of been the theme here, too, with a lot of these teams now just trying to figure out a way to maintain that consistency. Energy really being the only team being able to get second twice. Maybe not be first, but they still secured that win. And you can see here, Energy, as they make their rotations over to the train tracks, they see some action happening in the direction of Harvester.
Yeah, Harvester is not really a spot you expect an early fight to go and take place, so we'll see exactly how they want to go and approach this one. But it is a better landing spot now that they've added that beacon in a couple of updates ago, so it's nice to see some love being thrown over towards that side of the map. It's another great POI as we take a look at that first redeploy coming out for Energy, and Ping's going down.
And this is also going to allow them to get a scan on the ground to make sure that wherever they're rotating, it's safe, and they can note where some of these squads are currently positioned, as they are going to make their rotation over to the next jump tower before catching another squad who've also been able to take that jump tower out of it.
It's so scary going up these instead of going for the Valkyrie redeploy. It's always risky if a charge rifle, a scout, anything could land throughout all of these. If Energy gets hit going up the rope, they're going to have to bounce down immediately. Looks like they're going to be safe for now as they approach that bottom area of Lava Siphon. Scan coming out, bubble scan. Or Renegades, they're going to be able to find out where zone number 2 is going to go. Meanwhile, I'm curious to see what the rotation for TSM is going to be as well, as we see Mercy, Presley, and the rest of that squad down below.
Yeah, also having all blue Evo shields. Renegades looking a little bit better than Energy, holding onto 2 purples, and of course it's only having 1 white onto Pow Pow. But Energy, as they do make that safe rotation, they have to know that they don't really have the Evo shields to take these fights, and this is what I was worried about originally. Sweet being the only one with the purple Evo, this squad's already sending it forward.
Once you see gray armors, it doesn't matter who it is. They're going to go and push you throughout all of that. You can see multiple players at the door. Energy worried about the armor situation. They haven't even landed damage yet this game, and they're going to bounce out.
Yeah, they're getting out of the situation. I don't blame them one bit. They don't have the Valkyrie redeploy either. We just saw them use it at the very beginning when they were passing Harvester. And it's nice to note here with a Crypto Drone actually catching somebody in our little cam here. It's nice to see how a lot of these different compositions have provided its own benefits towards these teams and their own playstyle. And Energy, they're prioritizing positioning here.
In the bottom right, you can see TSM. They are sitting currently in 4th place with 27 points overall. Best placement for them, 3rd place in game number 1. They pick up some decent amount of kills along the way, fragging out with 17 kills overall. And they look like they're going to go set up over towards Geyser. Like we anticipated, a lot of teams are going to heavily favor that side of the map based on what they're seeing from the first scan.
That's why this is so important to make these rotations with Energy. Even though they're a little lackluster in terms of their shield, they want to make sure that they're not the ones getting circle kept, especially when it comes to this area right here, Tom, because you're kind of forced to traverse through that open ground when it comes to trying to secure one of these buildings down below.
They're still just poking around, trying to figure out how they're going to go and approach this situation again without the Valkyrie redeploy. Still a couple percentage on that one. Not many options. Fortunately for them, they're not forced into any type of situation that they don't have to be. Meanwhile, back on board with TSM, seeing where they're setting up, again, inside Geyser. They didn't change compositions as we were anticipating, but when they're down about 30 points overall, you would think that something has to happen for TSM. Right now, you can see they're in a great spot. The only problem with these Geyser zones, Vicky, you don't pick up a lot of kills from these spots. And you can see not a lot of ammo here for Snipe Down, even though he has a great setup.
And you know that a lot of teams want to secure these buildings, and since we've been seeing a lot of the caustics, these caustic compositions are really gonna shine within the geyser circle. So when I'm looking at TSM, I'm a little worried, Tom, because not only are they limited on ammo and equipment because they're gonna stay there for the end game, but I'm looking at how a lot of these other squads are gonna try to funnel them out of there with a Nox gas.
These pro players are so well balanced in terms of knowing how to play these zones. This is another one of those priority positions that can be locked down. That's Benchwarmer sitting in 5th place, 17 points. That just goes to show how top heavy this lobby currently is. There's a big fall off between 4th and 5th. Again, TSM in 4th with 27. Benchwarmers, 17 points overall. Placed 2nd in the previous game with 5 kills and still locking down a great spot. We'll see how long they can actually hold this. Again, having ammo is going to be the big problem, but big fight happening actually. Bowser is going to take down Senpai in your kill feed.
Huge here, just trying to see what's going on over there with Benchwarmers holding onto this corner, and we have seen some circles end up exactly where Benchwarmers is currently positioned, which is why they want to stay here before realizing where that next circle is going to be, because unlike these cryptos, Tom, as Valkyrie, you overextend when you want to get a beacon, when you want to make sure what the next circle is, and it's why we see teams like Energy prioritize that as the first thing they do when they land.
There goes Era. That was the fight that we were talking about. Stunny Tech and Bowser. Bowser with the initial knock. Looks like res has happened, coming on over towards the side. Now that player is crouching around the corner still, so he's still down. That's the Gibraltar. 2 players stuck inside of this train track. Senpai is down. Another player fairly weak. That's 2 knocks coming in from Bowser.
Bowser's popping off. He was up there in the front lines by himself. He manages to dip away with the shield battery, but with the Bloodhound scan, it's nice to note that there's another squad right on the other side of where Bowser's pressuring and trying to pinch this squad in the train.
Had an opportunity to team with Bowser and Six prior before they picked up Nice Wig, who was a great pickup, and they ended up winning the ALGS. Bowser is just an absolute slayer. Now it's up to Casellos to fend himself off in this 3v1. I just don't see it happening.
The fact that he was hiding behind the knockdown shield and manages to throw out the Arc Star, but it was one Valk and an Arc Star and a Dream, and I'm not too sure if a Dream is going to be enough here with Bowser being able to take out your entire squad. Now the follow-up from Tech Candy, they're going to finally finish that out, and I'm so surprised here as Castellos lived for quite some time, and now Noble finding the opportunity, they're moving in.
I think the big thing is they understood there's a third-party opportunity. If they end up going in there lackadaisical, one player gets knocked, next thing you know, Noble's pushing in on that, and Kate's gonna smile because that means her predictions are gonna be right. But NRG, they were waiting for that Valkyrie redeploy. They are just gonna get out of here. It is too hot. There's too many layers of teams.
They're playing Ring Around the Rosy with their rotations, and they're going right back where they came, and they should too, with the amount of pressure that these squads are laying down onto Energy. They kind of got booted out of that position, and they don't want to risk staying there longer, especially since they still couldn't find any better Evo shields to work with.
I'm curious what they're thinking. Let's hop on board with the team sitting in first place. It's NRG.
Wish our teach shields pop one real quick.
Imagine. Whoa.
There's a Phoenix right there. Oh, and
That's
a
a good
2
ass
to 4
loot right there.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and a purple light.
Oh.
As long as I got it like that, everyone gets one side. Everyone gets one side. I got the other side.
There's a purple. Oh, purple bolt. Oh my god. We can craft bolt. Wait, I need to get that thing.
Bro, not even trolling. It's level 2 gas. We could literally craft this entire time and walk in late here. And just get max loot.
I have 1 med kit, 4 syringes.
I'm only gonna have a med kit after this crafter.
I think we start going now.
Yeah, good.
But I'm juiced though. Like,
I need to craft a medkit. Hold on.
I'll look for white meds in here. Yeah. Right
I
here.
got some.
Mark an Eve on your way out. I'm on it.
Where are we going?
We're just gonna try to like walk in late underneath this.
No. Is there a team on this building? Can we walk in?
Let's go here.
By the way,
Everybody gets aside. You heard what they had to say. Now Bowser is continuing where he stayed, and he's just going to continue to lay down the hurt. And Song's going to be the first one to get knocked on Absolute Monarchy. Tech coming through with the bait and switch. Batteries being popped on both sides by Sunny and Bowser. A nice scan, perfectly executed team fight happening right now for Era.
Immediately seeing all the chaos go down right now. Era winning this team fight, being able to replenish those shields is so important, and they've noted already there's a squad right behind them, and they need to be wary here as that squad notes that there's been some downs already coming out with Era having to heal up.
Unfortunately, they don't get that knock and finish. Big flank coming around the corner. It's Joey Blackout with the EVA 8. Bowser and Stunny. Now it's up to them. Massive in hand. Bubble being dropped as well. Two more teams in the vicinity. It's Noble and it's Knights trying to shut down Era.
Not the first time we see a lot of this chaos happen in Ramparts. Meanwhile, Knights are wasting no time to move into the dome. Limited ammo on the PK, but you won't really need to worry about that as you're forced to back off. Pop the Phoenix. They do get 2 downs here. And Knights, they're going to come out on top with that third party coming in at the perfect time.
You love to see it. Knights have been playing pretty disciplined so far, and they get rewarded with that one. Joey Blackout very close to getting that purple armor, 50 away from charging that Evo up. Bowser, he dipped out, and for the amount of aggression that we've seen and how well Era's played, they may not get any points here, just the kill points that they walked away with.
Crazy too, because you saw that he has over 1,000 damage and only 1 kill at that moment, and it just really shows how they've been holding onto this area for so long, being so aggressive and holding back Noble that you could see a little off to the side. But it's nice that take control over the ship, and they're also going to have a high ground over Noble.
You can see things going down on top of the loot right there. It is most likely going to continue to pull on over towards Geyser. The big problem for Bowser right now is Knights aren't going to leave the spot. They're going to continue to sit on top of those boxes until those time out, and they have to worry about Noble in front of them too, which is going to keep them put.
Be difficult to worry about when you take a look at the next circle that's going to be pulling soon. Again, you don't want to overextend. You want to keep yourself open, and there's a care package that's going to be uncontested in front of TSM before Snipe Down. All right, Snipe will use the opportunity, maybe just taking a peek in case it's a bait, and it's so important here to note that depending on what's in that care package, TSM are going to be pretty comfy as they've been here the entire game.
Usually you drop one of your guns, but they're going to go for the bubble here. It's a mobile respawn, and could be the worst drop I've ever seen.
It was, actually. I think that was the worst drop I've seen in a really long time. Quite unfortunate there, but at least you were able to get something out of it if you wanted that mobile respawn. They are going to be able to hold on to this building, and it's nice to know that there was another squad that was sniping at them when they were trying to get that care package.
Reps is like, dude, that wasn't even worth my bubble. Back on board with Lazarus. Lazarus, they've been getting eliminated fairly early over here as we do get that zone pull. It's the very back of Geyser, as we were predicting. Benchwarmers loving that situation that they're in over towards the pills. Meanwhile, Lazarus not liking what they're seeing. It's a flank over towards the corner. It's Team Liquid and Nocturnal flying in.
Wow, that pressure coming in from the bombardment too, just trying to push in from the zip line. Super risky there, but an even better chance when you get danked down, and Lazarus are forced to hang out into this building without their caustic.
No doubt about it. Tough situation to be in. Team Liquid is just adding the pressure left, right, and center. Double gold armors, purple on flanker, plenty of batteries as well. Scan coming up in about 7 seconds. Great push over there, but the problem is, with 50 seconds left in zone number 3 approaching, this is going to start to tick. So you're going to have to figure out how you're going to approach the situation. Most likely, you see that building closest to the edge of the zone. They're going to have to get on that building and play the outside.
I'm wondering if that Valk from Lazarus managed to get away, because that was just absolutely chaotic. Team Liquid were able to get that Gibby inside the building, but to redeploy coming in at the perfect moment. Not sure if Team Liquid was able to secure that, but they were able to secure that 2 extra KP.
Here it comes, zone closing, which means everybody that was thinking about fighting is going to start fighting. Renegades is going to get the better of them and take them down right now. Vaxon with some great shots. The heal coming through as well. Very nicely done. 2 teams immediately just dropped like flies. As we have 16 squads left, expect a lot more to die.
And we see 2 already right now, Tom, outside of the circle. Ghost Gaming trying to circle, keep that squad over to the side, but they have to keep moving soon because round 3, it's closing in.
It is, and you have your EMP in hand, but you don't really know how you're 6. He has a nice little corner to stay alive for a little bit, but we know how many teams are trying to push out of this lava siphon size.
This is so intense right now. You can see how so many squads are on that southern part of the circle as it closes in, and it's Team Energy who are living off the lands now with 2 purples, 1 blue, and they're getting pressured out of the skies as they go in for this risky redeploy.
So there's some viable spots that are available right now, but I don't think Energy's is able to realize that because they don't have the luxury of the player outlines like we do. We've been able to see what all the teams are going to be able to do. But if you want to play in the very back of the building that is in this next zone, that is totally viable. Another spot is where the respawn beacon is. You're going to see teams set up there as well.
CLT saw where Energy was landing and said, I want no business with this. They gave that spot over to Energy rent-free, and they're completely okay with that as they take an off angle.
Ambino's hoping that there's something better than just a purple armor and a mobile respawn beacon in there. Meanwhile, Charlotte Phoenix, the winners from game number 1, they're on the high ground over here, but for how long? Cody taking so much damage, he's gonna have to go and drop. Bubble not being used by Stink, so they should be okay for now. But look at another team over towards the right coexisting. C9 making their play over towards the back of the building like we were talking about. They're gonna be the team that plays that respawn area.
And they're going to be able to have enough space to at least breathe, try to figure out what's going on here with so much action happening. But with the circle getting pulled away from these buildings, this is where I'm expecting a lot of these squads to whittle down already. A knock coming in for Ghost. The dome has gone down and you have no protection, and neither does CLT. The squad that looked to be in 3rd place has now gone down.
Energy scratching and clawing for every type of KP and placement that they could get, just like they did in game number 2. This time they have their full squad, though. The shots are there, and you want Rocker on your team.
Absolutely, especially seeing a Gibby on the high ground, holding a G7 and the arm shield. I mean, keep pressuring out everyone who's right below you. It's Christmas. It must have come early. We've skipping Halloween and Thanksgiving, and they could currently see what a lot of the action's happening right below them before jumping down and taking some of this loot.
Getting some more loot, getting some more ammo, picking up some more cape throughout all that is absolutely huge too. Bubble still there for Rocker if he needs it. No gold backpack though, as Nathan is going to get back in this one, but let's see if they get pressure.
Again, this is game number 4. We are going down to the wire here. Running out of time too with a lot of these squads now trying to figure out how many points they need, and Energy is one of those squads that are holding on to that 1st place. They're alive and they have some KP, and it seems to be that Rocker's in trouble.
Rocker's definitely in trouble. He needs to hit a battery in ASAP. Does just go for the armor swap instead. Random portal is going to be placed, but it's not random. It's calculated, and it's going to be outside of the building where TSM is inside.
Oh, no, maybe not going according to plan here with the squad having them in their line of sight. Luckily, they could utilize the bottom part of this building to actually have some cover, but you currently see Rocker. He's got to move soon.
Big thing is Bubble's back up. Defensive bombardment comes up in about 10 seconds as well. If they can survive Bubble and toss that down, that may buy them enough time to survive.
I'm just looking right here. The way that Sweet is just trying to help rotate the rest of Energy is so intense. This is all a make it or break it with Team Liquid now having the dome, tossing the Octane jump pad in the direction of the other dome, ricocheting off of it, saying, all right, just take one of these, and now dipping out of the situation. They don't have the jump pad, though, that they could utilize, and Team Liquid are cleaning up from a lot of these squads that are forced to rotate outside of the circle.
The shots from NRG just so crisp overall, but it's going to be Rocker to go down first. Sweet second. Nathan, the last player alive. He gets some help from the outside, but it is hot out here, and there is so many different missiles landing all over the place. NRG out in 6th place. Liquid still alive. C9 should be alive in the back as well. And Nocturnal doing whatever he can to avoid these grenades.
I also saw TSM how just being able to clean up, help out Energy for 2 seconds before Energy had gone down. They get to see another day. But now Team Liquid holding onto this back angle, getting a crack is so important here because they want to make sure that they can maintain this positioning without revealing too much with TSM being on the other side.
Ooh, these angles are just so crispy right now from Nocturnal. Running past all these death boxes because he understands that he wants to add the pressure onto TSM. He pushed into bench warmer's spot. Bubble does go down for reps. He's fairly weak. No batteries though, so this is a tough situation for TSM.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be out of commission for a while too. Oh, he has the Phoenix kit though. We take that back. All right, just about 9 seconds, and then he's back into the spray. Snipe down. Even though he's healing up, may not want to heal up fully with the shield with the EMP coming out, but it's actually House EMP who helps secure that, and Snipe down with a follow-up. What better way to clean things up for TSM than a follow-up from an EMP? And that's exactly why we're seeing this composition change coming out from this team.
Well, if Reps needs batteries, he's going to find them. There was 3 on the ground right there, multiple death boxes as well. Great job from TSM, pushing from the inside the building into the priority spot where bench warmers are. Now we have a 3-on-3-on-3 situation.
TSM now have been able to take control over the side. This is something I was noting before where circles have ended here so many times in the past, and TSM were in the perfect position to be able to get here as quickly as possible. We've noted that they were inside that building right behind them for the entirety of the game, and now C9 taking this roof, they have the pristine positioning in comparison to TSM.
One of the most classic end zones in all of Apex over towards the back building in Geyser. C9 on the roof, Premier down below him as well. And TSM on the outskirts looking in. We'll see exactly where this zone pulls. Typically, it goes to right outside the door where Premier is.
Funny seeing all those medkits in front of Hal. If you want to hide your crypto, just toss a bunch of loot in front of them. Maybe nobody would notice at the same time. But they're going to hold this position, and they're going to see what's happening here. Taking a look at the fact that you have C9 right there down the high ground. You have another squad right below you, and they don't want to be the ones to overextend because then they'll be on the open ground, and they don't want to give up this positioning.
We'll see how fast Hal can get his EMP back up. Snipe down most likely won't need that Valkyrie redeploy. The big thing is what is C9 going to do with Premier directly below? How are they going to avoid that pressure and fight when that time comes?
Oh, the mobile respawn beacon? That's some extra cover if I say so myself here. And they are just going to hold this crate. There's no reason for either of these squads to try to overextend. They're just going to wait for the circle to close in to force out these fights.
Exactly. Right now what they're trying to do is get armor checks. They're also trying to just show presence back and forth. Main thing is don't take a lot of damage. Don't take unnecessary damage. Especially don't force your bubble out. You're going to need your bubble here when this zone closes. Close in about 10 seconds. Not only that, 1 minute and 30 seconds for that zone to absolutely close. Hambino inside with the bow check bow.
Something that I'm worried about here, and just thinking crucially with TSM having Hal on the crypto, that EMP is going to be so important to prevent some of those bubbles from coming out at the time that they may want that bubble to come down. Now the circle closing in, and this is the opportunity for those two squads in the building to jump down.
Exactly, but you have to slow play this one. The zone just creeps up on you. Snipe down, taking a little head glitch right there. This is what we were talking about at the end of EMEA when you want to go and take position. Not just position where your team is. Individual position means just as much. Don't stay out in the open. Use all of the cover in your map to your advantage. Big nade coming in from Zach Mazer. But look at the little things that TSM is doing. Laying down these mobile respawn beacons. Having that bubble used is absolutely huge. TSM wants that back.
It's a party, basically egging them on. You know, if you have anybody to res right here, just kind of give us some points. Or we could just use it as some extra cover by the crates. Great way here, but they're getting bombarded with these grenades. Currently, Reps and Hal are low, and Hal goes down. The arc stars showing how lethal it is, and then they're giving bombardment to top it all off.
The pressure from C9 also. Premier is helping from inside the building as well. They are not allowing TSM to live much longer. A portal was placed as well. Snipe down gets knocked again over towards the side. We know that Reps is already down. I believe Hal is the last one. There's a little bounce pad to possibly grief him. Zach trying to make his way around the corner. That was, I believe, another portal coming in from Premier as well. That's TSM going out in third place. C9 has the advantage. They know all members of Premier have to come out of this door.
I love the positioning from Zach. He utilized those crates for cover, and now he's able to move right in, not missing a single shot with the EVA 8. He gets them down, and C9 are your champions for game number 4.
What a game by C9. Holy cow, we get our repeat winner in NA today. It was game number 2 for C9, game number 4 as well. The execution just so crisp. The prediction to get to the back over